From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your evening update.
Kent's Meats and Grocery is much more than a grocery store. We carry a full line of quality meats, local and organic vegetables, and a large variety of fish, Green Mountain Smart Control pellet grills, and a full deli case of sandwiches and side dishes.
Showers and thunderstorms are what we saw this afternoon, and of course going into the evening hours as well. Trinity County, inland areas of Humboldt and Del Norte counties, western Siskiyou County, and not to mention off into Modoc County. We're expecting more thunderstorms as we go into the evening and overnight hours, especially off into the eastern mountains later tonight. I think the activity to the west of the valley and northwest of the valley will probably wrap itself up here by around 10, 11 o'clock tonight, but it could maybe take a little bit longer than that. We'll take a look at futurecast here in a second, but less thunderstorm activity after today. In fact, I'm not expecting any more thunderstorms after today for quite some time, even through most, if not all, of next week. We do have cooler temperatures the rest of this week, this weekend, and even into next week, but temperatures are going to be kind of hovering right around or just below that normal category. And of course, we've got no major heat waves in sight. Let's talk about that smoke forecast, and of course most of the smoke coming in from the Smith River complex. And really it's mostly making its way, it looks like now, into Siskiyou County, not to mention Del Norte County and parts of northern Humboldt County as well. Otherwise, we're just seeing some local haze in some areas, and that's the extent of it. There's Friday night at about 9 p.m. once again, mainly from central Siskiyou County westward into Del Norte County, and then that pretty much just sticks in place as we go into Saturday morning. So here's your valley forecast hour by hour tonight and into tomorrow morning. Mainly clear skies, temperatures in the upper 70s by 10 o'clock in the morning, but of course warming up in the low to mid 90s. Now temperatures are dropping a bit from what we saw today, so we're going to see those temperatures kind of drop by a few degrees. Look for highs in the mid to upper 80s for most of us in the mountains here for tomorrow, and no more thunderstorms either. That's including the eastern mountains as well. So we do have high pressure off to the east. You can see the clouds rotating around that area of high pressure right here. Now that's the big dome of high pressure you've been hearing about in the central and eastern United States, creating quite the heat wave. Now what's going to happen is this heat is going to start to slowly migrate in our direction back over the desert southwest and even into Southern California. But the reason it's not expected to move over us is because this right here, this area of low pressure is some cooler air, and that will prevent that heat from building on in. Now we'll get into that here a little bit later, but let's talk about those thunderstorms. Now here we are at about 6 p.m. and this is just kind of a general idea of where we can expect most of the activity at this point. Trinity County, western Siskiyou County, and the inland areas of northern Humboldt County and most of Del Norte County as well. What I'm noticing here, Futurecast not picking up anything here to the east. Where we have seen most of the activity today has been in Modoc County, especially to the east, and mainly east of 395. But we could see more activity going into the evening and overnight hours. Not just for Modoc, but even the eastern mountains as well. Let's show you what I'm talking about. Let's take it about 9 o'clock tonight. You see how most of the thunderstorms at this point are starting to kind of wrap themselves up here, even for Trinity County. There still may be a little bit of activity here and there, but you can see most of us into northeastern portions of Del Norte County. However, we are seeing more activity, especially in eastern Modoc County, but we could see some activity here, basically east of Highway 395 is what we're looking at here. Then we go into about 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. Once again, you can kind of see the activity here kind of in the eastern mountains and the eastern Modoc County. And then it looks like by tomorrow morning, it's gone. Here's Friday afternoon. Look at that. No more thunderstorms in the forecast. And that'll be the case as we take you into your Saturday as well. There's Saturday at 6 p.m. No more thunderstorms. Long range forecast models. Let's take you into Sunday, Monday, all through next week. We've got nothing heading our way. However, by the time we get to the end of next week, say around Friday or that Saturday, we could be looking at an area of low pressure right here that could have an impact in the form of some showers and thunderstorms. Now, that's a long ways out. We'll have to kind of see how that pans out, but as it stands right now, after today, we've got a long period without any more thunderstorms. There's that heat I was talking about, kind of centering itself down over the southwestern United States. Now, this cooler air here is preventing that heat from really building in. And honestly, that's been the saving grace pretty much most of this summer, is these troughs of low pressure, these pockets of cooler air preventing that heat from really building in. In fact, this will kind of start to migrate, move over to our north, and then move back into Canada. But we see another little pocket of cooler air move over the Pacific Northwest toward the end of next week into that next weekend, kind of pushing that heat back over the central and eastern United States. So we look at the 10-day trend here for Redding, and the normal high is about 97. And I think we're going to be just slightly above that or below that, just kind of hovering around that normal range here through the next 7 days. Although you'll notice for Friday, Saturday, some cooler air moving in into the low 90s. So this is the overall trend temperature-wise for all of Northern California, where temperatures aren't really going to get too terribly warm. Tonight, upper 60s, low 70s for most of us in the valley, and temperatures in the 50s and low 60s for the higher elevations. Tomorrow, here's what we got. Sunny skies, temperatures in the low to mid 90s in the valley. For the mountains, we're in the low to mid 80s, even some upper 80s, depending on where you are. And for the coast, we're looking at temperatures in the low to mid 60s. Garberville, a high of about 94 degrees. Let's take a look at your 7-day outlook, and here you are looking at Siskiyou County. Looks like those temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 80s for the next 7 days. That's the story for Alturas, and that's pretty much the story for Susanville as well, maybe getting up to 90 by Sunday and Monday. And looking at your 7-day outlook for the valley, yeah, it's going to be fairly warm out there, but nothing too terribly warm. We should be just right around or below normal through the weekend and really through most of next week.